Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Monk playthrough at Kagekaze. I've been running into some technical difficulties here, so I've gone ahead and come back to the beginning of the Templar quest to try and smooth everything out, and I hope that I've resolved the issue. Did a full reboot of my system, so hoping that might help.
Now, back to my mission.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I must destroy the Skeleton King.
Then our aims align. Why have you come here? One of our number has forsaken. The cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it? Down this way. He's free.
And just took them all out with one swipe.
I am Cormac, warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should run.
Agreed. Let us fight together.
Evil cowers at the sight of just one Templar. Two will bring it to its knees.
Still getting just a tiny bit of slowdown here, but nothing as bad as it was before. I was getting down single digits frames there for a bit. So again, I wanted to apologize for the quality of this playthrough as I've been going forward. I'm hoping it hasn't detracted too much. So what I'm going to do here before I get to John Dar, I'm going to quickly go over, since I did hit level 10 during all of this, since I had to come back. I'll show you off the passives here that I picked up at 10. First is Resolve. Damage you deal reduces the enemy damage by 30% for 2.5 seconds. So once again, another item in the Monk toolkit that helps you prevent damage. So you've got that combined with slows and additional damage reduction. You can really reduce the amount of damage that an enemy can do to you. So they're definitely expecting you to be an offensive class. You're not going to be soaking up a lot of damage. You're more going to be reducing the amount of damage that they do. This is the one I picked up. This is the Guardian's Path. Changes based on what type of weapons you have. While dual wielding, you gain a 10% chance to dodge incoming attacks. While using a two-handed weapon, all spirit generation is increased by 20%. So if I was out there with my two one-handed weapons, I could dodge even more attacks. So again, becoming a bit more defensive. And yet, here's the compensation for using a two-handed weapon. As I was saying, my spirit generation is not as high. But this ability here would help increase that. So 20% spirit generation is rather nice.
Black magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger.
Alright.
You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this coven?
The Coven is my brotherhood now.
There we go. Now we've rooted in.
Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the Coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven. Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt for the Skeleton King. But there is one condition. If we find the sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
Your books have no worth to me. They are yours.
Then onwards we go. To fight the Skeleton King.
Alright, and here we go, getting closer and closer to level 11. Hopefully I'll hit it before we get to the Skeleton King, so I'll have at least one more ability to show off. Alright, let's go down this way. What shall we find?
To count how many we've killed, but I've lost track.
We have found a dead end with a gray weapon. No thank you. Well, that felt good, to be able to just dash past the barricade and take them all out. Shattered all 3 barricades around them, even. I have to admit, I almost kind of wonder if having a ability that slows and reduces damage, or attack speed anyway, which effectively reduces damage, should be on a generator that also does more than 100% weapon damage. I feel definitely very powerful with this build, or with this ability alone. So for those of you who are interested in other betas and other games, specifically in this case first-person shooters, I just recently picked up a beta key to get into the Tribes Ascend demo, or beta. If any of you have never played the Tribes series, it's a first-person shooter with jetpacks and skiing. Wow, massive burst of damage there. That kind of slowed me down a bit. And fortunately, while recording with Fraps at full resolution here, I do get some chunks and slowdown when there's a lot happening on the screen at once. Fortunately, most of this slowdown doesn't occur when I don't have Fraps running. Although that is unfortunate for trying to record videos. Anyway, I bring up the Tribes because I was thinking about recording footage of that beta to kind of put it out there and show everybody that a new Tribes game has come out. The Tribes series I really love. I was semi-competitive with Tribes 2 and one of the TWL ladders. Tribes Ascend is going to be free-to-play. And you can get a beta key just by liking them on Facebook. So it's not quite open beta, but then again, beta keys are pretty easy to get. It's looking nice. Free-to-play model is working for them, although one of the complaints I have about it, and pretty much the issue you would have that I have with some other free-to-play games, is it can be very slow going to level up or to gain equipment if you don't pay for it. Of course, that's the intention, as we all know. They want you to pay, pay something into it. Starting to wonder if there's something else going on that's causing these slowdowns, though. Mainly because it hasn't been that bad until recently, and the only real change has been I did get that beta, and I did notice that the Tribes Ascend updater was running in the background. It wasn't taking a lot of resources, but I don't know if there was anything else going on back there that could be causing issues. So, of course, things have been recording just fine until I got here to the cathedral, so there could be something else. I obviously do not want to blame them for my issues, but I also feel the need to profusely apologize since it's making my continued playthroughs a little harder to make. But as I was saying about wanting to record footage about that beta, I quickly realized that I'm very rusty at tribes. It's one of those games where you have to be practiced. You move along very quickly along the ground. You're moving very quickly. In general, you're flying through the air. Your weapons are mostly hard-hitting projectile explosives, so there's no hit scan weapons if you're used to those in games like Counter-Strike. So you have to lead your targets. Definitely takes a lot of skill. Very skillful game. So me being out of practice, I'm not doing so well, and of course my skiing, which is the big part of the game. You want to ski, you want to be going downhill as much as possible. You always want to be moving. I've found myself losing momentum, and it just doesn't look good. I'm afraid that I would make people not want to get it more than get it by putting footage of the way I'm playing right now. But I did want to bring it up since I didn't have too much to talk about here in the form of Diablo, and of course need something to talk about other than how much I apologize for the slowdowns. Yes. The drop a chandelier on your own head technique. Master martial artist that I am. And that right there is why I love the monk and dashing strike. It's able to move back and forth between those mobs very quickly. Of course, being constantly frozen isn't exactly fun, but we're alright, we're alright. We're moving. Alright, pretty sure we're at a dead end at this point.
There are forces arrayed against us that are stronger than we ever imagined. Some greater purpose lies behind these trials, but I do not yet know it.
The gods keep their secrets close.
Buried under rubble.
A vicious strike.
Okay, we've hit the Royal Crypts. Good news is, judging from my experience bar, I am pretty sure I should hit the level before I hit the Leoric. So let's kill as much as we can here. Magic and gold find. I was kind of hoping that was going to be experience, but oh well. So after this, all I really have is the Witch Doctor. Not entirely sure what I think of the Witch Doctor just yet. I've been looking at some of his abilities on the skill calculator on the Diablo 3 main page. He's going to be a slower damage dealer. He deals with mostly damage over time and monster control, which is kind of a similar kit to what the Demon Hunter has. So he probably won't kill as quickly, kind of like what the Demon Hunter had. And I honestly don't think I was judging the Demon Hunter too fairly as far as its damage. A couple reasons on that being, one, I had read the posts by Blizzard that they do agree overall that the damage is fairly low. Didn't see if that was regarding low-level Demon Hunters or Demon Hunters in general. But that, and I had just come off the Barbarian, which, let's face it, you're doing massive hits, you're getting in there. The whole point of the Barbarian is to kill enemies before they can do enough damage to kill you. You have a few mitigation abilities, but overall, the barbarian's kit do more damage than the monster could do. So they cleave through enemies very quickly, and even the wizard had some slow killing issues at first until they got like Arcane Orb, but I still think there are some things that could be improved on the Demon Hunter. Mainly, I think the generators should probably be improved just a little bit, do a little bit more damage. The spinders, like I said, I'll probably get into that more when I do the look again at the Demon Hunter, but I have a few thoughts on it. I want to kind of, collect some data and look at the builds a little more before I really put forth another opinion on it.
We shall put you down, Hellspawn!
Quickly move to the next pillar. Felt good. Felt good. Oh, there's another one over here. I want to get as much experience as possible. So close, just under a bar. I like how I can punch them through that gate.
We have just arrived in Tristram. I must say, I'm a bit dismayed. This place is a backwater filled with serfs and an ancient broken-down monastery. Hardly fit for the King of Condorus. I cannot fathom why Lazarus was so intent on this becoming our new seat of power.
Getting there, getting there. Now, I talked about farming skeletons in the Skeleton Kingdom. Apparently, I misspoke on that one. As I had noticed when I played through, they don't really drop anything. Looking back at the posts people said about farming for high item levels, such as an amulet or neck piece, they were actually talking about the skeletons here that I'm fighting now outside of his room, not inside of his room. So that was a misunderstanding on my part. These skeletons here are supposedly just the right monster level to be able to drop amulets. Again, the very minimum, so the amulets won't be that great, but I would still like to find one.
The fetid, pallid malaise has fallen over the manor we now call home. Young Albrecht seems to be enjoying himself in our new home, however, even with his brother Aiden off to become a warrior. Perhaps I am simply suffering from an imbalance of humors brought on by the recent change of climate.
Alright, and of course that journal entry was just enough to give me my level. See, reading is good for you. Alright, what did I get? Inner Sanctuary. Inner Sanctuary costs 20 spirit, has a 30-second cooldown, and creates a runic circle that enemies cannot enter. That circle on the ground lasts for 8 seconds, and they cannot pass. Obviously, not something I'm probably going to be using here in the beta, especially not against Leoric. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just go ahead and put it on real quick, just so we can kind of see it. And I might experiment with it after beating the Skeleton King here. And if I find anything interesting with it, I can, of course, post footage of it against some actual monsters. Especially since I do plan on coming back. I came back with the Wizard when I hit 13, showed off his skills. I'm going to do the same for the Barbarian and the Demon Hunter. I may do the Demon Hunter first, even though the Barbarian was the first class to hit level cap comparatively. Simply because of the damage issues that I had seen, and we kind of want to talk about that a bit. So here we go. We're going to see how big this circle is. I'm going to put one down. Not too big, but as you can see, it's just enough to kind of cover good part of this, and it's pretty much you can use that for protection if you need to get away from some hard-hitting monsters, or if you want to corral monsters that maybe will running away from you. Unfortunately, it does suffer from a long cooldown of 30 seconds, putting it down. Of course, be interested to see what the runestones will do to it, since we haven't been quite updated on the runestones yet, although there are some that you can put on the Diablo 3 calculator from the Battle.net site. We don't know if any of that's going to change. But let's go ahead, and we're going to go back here and put on Lashing Tail Kick again. And we're going to kill the Skeleton King.
You will never defeat me!
You were defeated the moment you surrendered to madness. Great effort brings great reward.
Which could also be these guys. These skeletons here were definitely dropping items. The ones he summoned do not look like they drop items. I'd like to see is if there's a quick and easy way to farm them real fast before we take out the Skeleton King. Nope, you cannot go back. He's knocked the wall down. Alright. Well, that's something I can do in my spare time, try and farm items. Honestly, don't see that being something that would be interesting to watch, is me going back and forth just killing a bunch of skeletons trying to find an amulet. Alright, let's go ahead and level up our Templar real quick. I didn't go over these in any of my other playthroughs, though I did select one. Here we have Loyalty, provide life regeneration for you and the Templar, 2 life per second, and Intimidate. Enemies attacking the Templar are slowed. They're slowed by 50% for 3 seconds if they hit the Templar. Doesn't stack with other slows, though, so the slows I have wouldn't work with him, so Intimidate would be great. Let's just do Loyalty.
My power grows.
King Leoric, we must kung fu fight! Oh, I missed him with that kick. Well, I can cleave through these skeletons fairly quickly. And he's back in range. Perfect.
Not enough speed.
Clear these out. And he will come to me, I don't have to go to him.
I need spirit.
Very good. And I even got a rare bow, which 10 point... Rare bow, but less damage than the one I have. Well, let's see what it has. Plus 4 to 6 damage. Increase spirit regeneration by 0.17. 1% damage dealt is converted to life. And gain 0.2 life per spirit spent. In the end, not a bad item. Definitely helps with the... Of course, it doesn't have as much regeneration as the item I've crafted here. I kind of wish I would have had this to play around with in the beginning, since this, you can see this rare has no level requirement. Of course, as you can see, I can put it on, it's 6 DPS less. It's kind of a shame I can't really see what the item level is here. I've gotten kind of accustomed to that in World of Warcraft, because I'm pretty sure that this, because this was a fairly high blacksmithing pattern, has a higher item level than this. So a lot of the items you're seeing here with crafting are better than items I actually get in drops, and you've probably seen that in a lot of the playthroughs. And part of that, it's really kind of unfair to judge that because item drops are based on monster level. I'm only getting a very tiny bit of monster, very small monster levels here compared to my profession, which has exceeded what these monsters can give me. So, but that's it. That's been the monk. What I'll do is I'll get this saved up. I'll try and splice together the information so it doesn't look too bad. And I, of course, ask you to thumb up if you like it. Of course, please be kind regarding the issues. But leave comments if you have them. And I will see you next time with the Witch Doctor.